Just such a heartbreaker of a case, and really an intriguing one with this conspiracy being alleged by the state. I want to bring in my legal panel to talk more about this case. Still with me, criminal defense attorney Andrew Lynch and former prosecutor Elizabeth Emanuel. Great to have your expertise. Watching this case, tell me some of the things that are jumping out at you in terms of the review of the facts. Where do you think the biggest difficulties are going to lie for the defense and for the prosecution? Andrew, I'll start with you, please.
I think the biggest difficulty is going to be for the prosecution. Their witnesses, the people in the room, if they're going to prove this is premeditated murder, so they're really relying on other murderers. Their position has to be, our witness, they murdered this guy, but this is the worst one of the bunch. All of their evidence from what happened, what led to it being an execution-style robbery, what led to it being a conspiracy, that, is it just some weird coincidence? All of it comes from people who aren't worthy of belief. As the defense attorney, you're going to have to attack really the source of the information, and the source comes from the co-defendants. All of these people are indicted by the county's grand jury being accused of being murderers. They're not worthy of belief, and that is really fundamentally what is most weak about the state's case.
Right. Appreciate that, Andrew. Elizabeth, what do you see as the biggest hurdles each side is going to have to overcome?
Well, as far as prosecution, I agree with Andrew, is that it goes back to the credibility of the witnesses. And the witnesses here are the defendants that have been named in the indictment. So you're always going to have an issue as to whether or not these people can be believed, or they're just saying whatever to save themselves. That may be one of the reasons why the case was severed, is that you have defendants sort of pointing, or especially Haley pointing the finger at the other defendants to say they did this, and here is all the reasons why. So that would be one of the biggest issues if I were prosecuting the case, is the credibility of the witnesses that the state is going to put up before the jury. As far as defense, and as you know, the defense does not have to prove anything. The burden rests with the state throughout the entirety of the trial. I think that for the defense, the difficulty would just be the facts of the case. I mean, how do you defend somebody when these facts come out that he was begging for his life, he had a necklace that was stolen that said daddy's little girl? It just would have to come into, if he were convicted, the sentencing phase, trying to show whatever mitigating factors that may help lessen the sentence. Right.
The long game maybe with these defense attorneys are really focusing on with him, as you pointed out earlier, Andrew. Thank you both for your analysis. Want more of that, to just have to take a break right now. Want you to stay with us at home. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to a fascinating case, a guy who's captured the nation's attention time and time again. Robert Durst back in the spotlight, opening statements set to begin tomorrow in his case. We'll talk about it right after the break.